All right, we are rolling.
Awesome.
How's it going, John?
Good. Going well.
So, for anybody that doesn't know, that John and I, we started out playing music back over 20 years ago, but we've known each other since what? We were little kids, 4 years old, 5 years
Yeah.
old, maybe even younger than that.
I was figuring about 40 years, somewhere around there.
Oh yeah, at least, at least 40 years. But I was determined. I was dead set. I want you to be the first guest on this show because we started out, all of our crazy adventures together. Like it was always, no matter what it was always me and you. Whether it was when we were kids and all the other kids were being jerks, that we always would team up. And then when and then when it was skateboarding, it was the same thing. And then it was music, it was the same thing. And taking off, moving, First, we started traveling all around, the region, like around North Carolina and everywhere else. And then, then we started touring. We hit the Northeast and all the Southeast. And then we actually decided to move and took off. So it was like all the crazy stuff. It was always like me and you started out. So I was like, John has to be the first one. I don't care if we get on here and just talk about the weather for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You had to be the first one. So thanks.
Cool.
And I know you're busy, so I appreciate you taking the time to come on here.
Not too busy. Just had to work it in.
That's awesome, though.
No worries.
But
it goes way back to, I guess I was 7, you were 4 or 5, however.
Oh yeah, at least, if not younger.
Yeah, probably younger maybe.
Right.
Back in the scoot days.
Yeah. We had this communal friend that we used to skateboard with, so that was, but we would always end up hanging out. Most of the time, we would take off on our own if we needed to.
Yeah. We
Or
best friend, and then he got mad at us, and we became friends.
Right? Yeah. And he didn't even live in the area, so when he was away, we would hang out and go skate and all that stuff.
Yeah. Hang out with Russell Gap.
The stuff they're doing with skateboarding now is crazy. If you watch the new skate videos,
yes,
and
I can't even comprehend it anymore.
It was crazy when we were younger, but it's really crazy now.
I can't even, some of the stuff they do, I can't even comprehend.
Like the stuff they're doing, and I watched some of the videos where they crash and get all beat up. But to do these crazier tricks, they're risking more because they're doing crazier stuff. So when it doesn't work out, it really doesn't work out.
They slam hard.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. But
yeah, I still like watching I know the new guys are awesome, and I mean, I ain't taking nothing away from them, but I still like watching the old Tony Hawk and the stuff. 8th Street stuff still blows my mind watching it.
Oh yeah, they were doing crazy stuff back then.
Mm-hmm. They were way ahead of I feel like they were way ahead of everybody else back in those days.
Yep. And a lot of those guys, I found them on X. They're still skating. There's a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Mike Vallely still skating. A lot of these dudes are still at it. Even Lance Mountain, I think, still at it.
Oh yeah, he is. He's like 62 or something. And Rodney Mullen just turned 60, and he said he skates 5 hours a night. I mean, that's impressive.
That's crazy. Yeah.
He said that he's so antisocial that I watched him on the Tony Hawk podcast. Said that he goes at 2 a.m. to like street skate where there's nobody else out.
That's the best time, right? Yeah.
That's crazy.
Are you still?
Oh yeah. Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, I said he invented so many tricks that he don't get credit for now. That the dark slides and all the other crazy stuff that people never even thought of.
Right. I think he's doing stuff. He was doing stuff back then. I think still there's a lot of people can't pull off today.
Mm-hmm. He's credited with Tony Hawk. I mean, he's kind of I still feel like he's sort of the guru. He credited him with inventing the ollie, so I think that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's Rodney Mullen's so humble. He's like, yeah, I just like to skate. Like, he has no ego.
Right. I was watching, it was one podcast. I don't know if it was, I forget what podcast, but it was this one dude. The show, it wasn't even about skateboarding, but this dude was talking about being a skater, but he was running around with all those guys back then in California, like the early days of Powell Peralta.
Oh, yeah.
Back the Bone Brigade days and stuff like that.
Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah, they were crazy back then. But
yeah, that's all.
Are you still playing music?
Oh yeah. Matter of fact, me and Brady going tomorrow. Here's guitar. He takes guitar lessons. They have a little jam about every first Friday of the month, and probably like 10 or 12 of us just get there and we go around the circle and just it play anything from metal to country to whatever anybody wants to play. If he has a tab of it, he'll pass them out, and we just kind of all jam out. So it's pretty cool.
That's definitely good practice to be well rounded and play all types of music.
Oh yeah,
because no matter what music no matter what music that he ends up dedicating to, just being well rounded, playing everything makes a world of difference. Like we played everything, I think, at one between the number of years we played music together. We have played every style of music that exists, I believe, at some point in time.
Yeah,
whether
even
it be
just sort of joking, picking around, or
right, yeah,
we might play a bar or two of Metallica or Slayer at a show just to get a laugh.
Oh yeah. We did a lot of that. That's why. Go ahead.
That's why I like that jam. I was like, when we first went, I was like, it's going to be a disaster because everybody's different ages and different influences. But I don't know, it kind of works out once it starts playing. I mean, the dude that runs it, he kind of usually starts the song off, and we all kind of jump in. I don't know, it works. It's pretty fun.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, it's cool.
One thing is like doing the podcasting and interviewing and even anything like performance wise. If you've already been a musician and been used to being on stage in front of people, it's you definitely have an advantage because you're not just jumping in and you've never been used to doing any sort of entertainment. Not even entertainment, but I don't know, just used to having other eyes on you. It makes a big difference.
It does.
I plan on I got a stand-up comedy set that I've already wrote.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the problem is there's no stand-up comedy clubs around here. So, like even down in Charlotte, there's nothing really. I think they have one, but I'm not driving all the way to Charlotte to do an open mic night. I'll just sit on it until I go somewhere where I can be, like whether it be Nashville or wherever I end up, Miami. I don't know where the hell I'm going to end up, but But I do have one because George Carlin was always a favorite of ours. Oh, so I took a lot of notes from him.
Oh yeah, I could see that. A lot of the comedians now saying, they getting blacklisted so much for stuff they say. I mean, it's like, God, nobody can take a joke anymore. It's like,
no, that's changing though. It's reversing.
I'm glad that's changing back because I mean, it's all about fun, and I mean, who cares?
Yep. Yeah, that's all. The whole cancel thing is, at least for now, it's going to be like, it's the tide. It's like the pendulum, so it's swinging back the other way now, and we'll see. I was talking crap on X like I usually do, but I posted. I was like, the Democrats are the new Republicans, and the Republicans are the old Democrats.
It's a weird thing.
It's like we're living in like a reverse Bizarro world.
Yeah, it's like Superman Bizarro. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Never thought. I predict a lot of things, but I never predicted that when we were like kids.
Oh yeah. It's like the anti-war party is now the Republicans. What world am I living in? I was like, people that wake up from a coma from 2006, let's say they went into a coma at 2006, and if they woke up today, they would be very, very confused what's going on right now.
Yeah. There's sometimes I turn it on and I'm confused. I'm like, what is going on?
But, I started doing... So, with music-wise, I just recently... So I'm doing these little daily tune things just for fun. And that's just for fun. People like them. People enjoy them. So I'm doing those.
I love the video game ones you do. They're awesome.
Those are super fun to do. And that's something... These are things I've been wanting to do. I had like a list of stuff I wanted to do back when I was in New York, like say 2019, but then everything went crazy. So finally, after, it took, 5 years, I got everything set up to where now I have some time to go back to a lot of these projects that I wanted to do back then. That's awesome. So that was on my list, is make these little, play along the video games. Because, I mean, there's tons of people that do it. There are tons of people that are on there doing these Let's Play games. But it's not me because I have some, I have a way with words sometimes.
Yeah.
Not always the best. I'm not saying it's the best.
No, I know what you're saying. But gosh, I mean, remember when... What was that band that first started doing those video game renditions, and we were like, "Oh, that's awesome! Somebody thought of doing that." I keep starting to say mini band, but that's not what I'm thinking of.
You were close. Mini Bosses.
Mini Bosses. That's it.
Mini Bosses.
That was awesome. Like I was just like, man, talk about taking you back.
Right, and so that's a whole genre now, and you can go like Spotify and find stations. You could go go to Spotify or Pandora and put like Mini Bosses Radio, and it'll create a whole station play. There's tons of bands. I have a new album coming out.
Awesome.
And I'm working on the licensing for the Plants vs. Zombies 2 songs. And it's
Oh,
really
oh.
hard because they never officially did an audio release of those songs. But I'm doing like all those anime songs that I did instrumentals of. I'm
Yeah.
going to release them all in one album. I went back and I remixed and remastered all of them. You know, made the drums better.
Yeah.
So that's in the works. But
Oh, cool.
right now there's a hold up. I'm trying to get these because to release covers you got to buy the mechanical licenses.
How's
So,
that expensive?
It depends how many you're doing. And honestly, from what I understand, to stream, that if you're streaming, it doesn't really cost anything. But the problem is if you do downloads, which let's say if you remember CD Baby, which we used to release distro through.
Yeah.
So if you go through CD Baby, that it's going to ship it off automatically to say Apple Music, and they do downloads, so they want that mechanical license for the downloads. It's so technically you still have to get the license even if you're just going to stream, even though you don't need it to stream. It's a pain. It's been annoying me for like 2 weeks, but I'm down to like 4 songs. If I can get these 4, the problem is, like I said, they never did the official audio release. So Entertainment Arts is sitting on these licenses somewhere. They're not publicly listed, like on ASCAP or BMI or something like that.
Right.
I even reached out to the guy who wrote the songs, and still no.
Still nothing.
On Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, but still no luck. Because he's like, who's this guy? Doesn't want to be bothered with.
Still my glory.
Yeah, right. But yeah, so we played music. So John and I, we played music, and up until what? When did you head back to North Carolina? It was 2008, 2009,
2009.
2009.
Yeah. June.
So-
I think around May or June of 2009.
Right. That was when you finally had enough. It took me. It took me a while longer. It took me until what 2020, March 2020. I'd had enough
Yeah.
because I like the craziness, but at that point it just got too crazy.
Yeah.
But so at that point, you know, we'd moved to Philly, played music, toured all over, and see another thing is that even like say like New York, you were there when we first started going up to New York and playing
yeah.
shows. I think
We played in that place we played with World War IX. It was like a art district or something. I don't remember the name of it, but
was that Manitoba's bar or a different?
no, that one was good. But there was another place that was like almost like in a strip mall. I can't think of what the heck it was called now.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about.
Can't remember the name.
I can't remember the name of that one either, but it was that was on Broadway, if I remember, in
it was
Brooklyn.
up that way.
Yeah.
Manitoba's. That was probably one of the first places we played. I remember we played some little dance bar when Mike and we went. And
Oh, right, yeah, that was like
it was
our.
a really lame place, but I'm not sure we might have been the first band to ever play there.
It was the after hour. Well, see, a lot of those places would do that. They were like a dance club. But they would have shows, and then they would be a dance venue afterwards. I ran into that several times up there.
What I thought, I don't even know if they still do this, but I thought some of the craziest things is when we toured the first time, all the sushi bars we played in. I mean, whoever thought of sushi bars having bands play? But it was some of the best shows. Go eat some sushi and play some rock. I mean, it's crazy.
That was a thing, and
Yeah.
the last sushi bar I think I played, it was 2008. You were already you were doing your own thing, and we had that guy Bill playing bass.
Oh, yeah.
But it was in Richmond, this place called the Sushi Bar. I don't know if you ever were with us when we did the Sushi Bar, but it was. I think that was the last Sushi Bar. But at that time, when we were touring, there was. Didn't we do it in Baltimore? I can't remember.
Yeah, we played the one in Baltimore because we walked around the corner in that really shady part of town, and there was like a 9-year-old with a handgun. Like, okay,
yeah.
back in the sushi bar. I don't know what's going on up here. That town is crazy.
Yeah, it was.
I thought New York was crazy, and we went to Baltimore and that Inner Harbor. I mean, that's just like something out of a movie.
Get in, get out. Remember that guy?
Oh,
Get in,
yeah.
get out.
Yeah, it's just a different world down there.
It was what was it? It was like a homeless dude that just hung around outside the venue, and so I guess he would always see all the bands, going in and out of the venue, and there are always bands were coming through and leaving, and he was like, "Get in, get out, get in, get out." That's all he kept saying. And then we made up the song. We made up like a little song called "Get In, Get Out."
He got all mad,
and he was there and didn't like it. But it was like I don't know. He should have been happy about that. It was kind of
somebody's paying him attention.
Yeah, we're giving like a tribute to the guy.
Yeah, even then, a lot of people just had no sense of humor, so they can't appreciate having a good time, having fun. So, People
Yeah.
sometimes get offended. That's kind of their problem.
Yeah, the get in, get out.
Yeah.
And so we went to. So yes, so we traveled all around. We toured the region, all regional around the South. We toured with 2 tours with Dead Center. And the first one was when we went up. Was the first time we ever went to New York. Actually,
Yeah.
our van broke down in Long Island, and we got stranded for like a day. But then Stan was up there just randomly. This guy we knew from where we're at was in New York.
That
that was
what are the chances of that?
right. Yeah,
That he's with his uncle
Yeah, or it was his godfather.
or godfather. That's right.
Yeah,
Godfather.
yeah. But just randomly, this guy that we actually hung out with a lot down here was up there. So we got to crash there and we got the van fixed.
And I think, I mean, that was crazy. We had a little mini vacation at the end of the tour.
Right. Yeah. And, he took us into New York. That was the first time that we'd really got to experience New York.
Yeah.
And Long Island. And a memory I still have in my head is that we went to the skate park at some point in Long Island. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we actually skated there, but we definitely stopped by there. And
Chip skated there because I remember them saying he was 38 or something. They're like, look at the old man drop in because he was still skating with his nephew lived down the street, so they were both skating. I think we didn't have our board. We were watching them. That was pretty cool.
That's okay. These little kids were doing these crazy tricks, and that was when I realized I'm never going to be a professional skateboarder. These little kids are better than me, like 4 or 5 year olds. I think I'll just skate for fun. I'm never going to try to I'm not going to try to be a pro.
You can't get hurt. You got to go to work.
That's the problem. If you have a job that requires, I mean, maybe if you have an office job, you can type with one hand, but most jobs you need your full functionality of your body.
Oh yeah.
So you can't take too many risks getting hurt skateboarding.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember taking Brady to one of those. They get those jump places now, the trampoline parks that are so popular now.
Oh, right, yeah.
I was taking him to a birthday party a couple years ago, and it was just me and him going because Julie had to work. And I was like, it's going to be awesome. We're going to go there. I'm going to do a backflip into the ball pit. And she's like, no, you're not. I'm like, why? I can still do it. I'm not too old. She's like, yeah, but if you get hurt, who's going to drive him home? And then you got to go to work. I'm like, I can't do that anymore, I guess. Yeah.
I haven't been to one of those. They look like fun, though.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah, I want to go to one of those.
Yeah. You really realize how out of shape you are after you jump about 10 minutes.
Right. Remember I was always on a trampoline back then. Back around 13, 14, 15. It was actually pretty much up until we started playing music a lot. I was always jumping on the trampoline.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I pulled up in the car when I was going to jam one of the first couple times when we started playing together, you did a backflip off of it and off your trampoline.
Probably almost hit my head on the bar or something.
Yeah, and your dogs are running around. Riggs is running around.
Oh yeah. But yeah, so we toured. So we did our first tour, of the Northeast with Dead Center. We went. That's where we stopped in Philadelphia, and that's where we had the crazy idea we were going to move to Philadelphia because it was right in the middle, which kind of worked out. It was right in the middle of what was it? It was you got New York, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, et cetera, which we did play all those places, but I think if I were to do anything different now, we should have just taken off to California, or we should have went directly to New York. I think if we had went directly to New York, I think things would have probably went better.
Yeah.
Well,
Philly's a tough city because
that's the thing. Yeah,
they're cliquey there, and we finally got accepted in that scene. But it's more like you got to look a certain way, and you don't sound like this band or that band. They're not quick to accept,
Right, and it's not even the music thing; it's just a cultural thing. They're definitely a city. They're like, who are you? Where are you from?
Mm-hmm. You say we're from North Carolina. Like, what are you doing up here?
And do you remember that party? So I just did a podcast with Ian the other night because we're doing the ghost stories for the Murder House.
Oh, that's awesome!
And we were talking about the Murder House. Used to have punk shows in the basement.
Oh yeah, that was the days.
And I don't know if you remember, but there was these dudes. We went one time, and I guess there was these neighborhood guys, and we walked in, and the guy came up to me and was like, "Yo, where you from?" And I was like, "Germantown." He's like, "All right, you're cool."
I think I remember that. That was a eclectic place. There's always some characters in that house. You never know who's going to show up. Those shows.
Right.
You had all ages, all different walks of life in those shows.
And there was always somebody. I mentioned this on the thing with Ian. Is that there was always somebody. One of those apartments where they would just let it be open, so people were just coming in and out,
Oh yeah,
have beer in the fridge. It was madness,
Matt. Yeah, you tell people about it. It sounds surreal.
right? And then
And
Ian
then
was like, "Yeah, those were pretty stressful. You know, you have to worry about your whole, house getting torn down or getting everybody
you
breaking
got a
everything."
giant place that looks like it could be a mansion, but it's like creepy in its own weird way. And then there's a garden in the middle of the city, and then a swimming pool. It's like nothing you ever see.
Yeah, it was cool. He went into like the whole history of the house, which was cool. So
That's cool. I remember a little bit about that.
I'll send you the link for that one
I
when
can't,
I
I can't
release
wait.
that one.
I always liked him and his dad and his brother. They were cool.
Oh, they're great. Yeah, they
cool
were.
folks. Yeah,
But
interesting folk.
so okay, so we move up so we did the tour. We met people up north, and then we decided to move to Philadelphia. And those are some crazy. We had a crazy. Like, I'm sure people these days, when you try to tell them all the crazy experiences we had up there, like we
They
were
don't
there
like
when it
the
was.
first year or two. We lived off ramen noodles and cheese crackers. I mean, like, we're not living very good. We're just making it.
Right.
You know.
And that first apartment we had, that was definitely haunted. I know for sure
yeah.
that was. That was
Yeah.
100%. Because, like, me or you, we would be home alone, and we would hear people walking in the hallway. And it's not like it was far away hallway. It was, like, right there. You could, like, look over and hear footsteps where there's nobody walking.
Or the lock would click. You'd hear that weird little clicky sound.
Oh,
like somebody put a key in or something.
The door, it would jiggle. It was like somebody was jiggling the doorknob.
Nobody's there.
And remember, there was the one night you were sitting at the computer, and I stood there, and I was like, John, I'm going to stand here, and I'm going to watch this thing until it makes that sound. And it did. And I don't think I saw it jiggle, but I took that whole thing apart.
I was going to say, you took it apart all the way down to the last mechanism to see what.
Nothing.
There's no explanation of that.
Yeah, and it was so cold. Do you remember when you would walk in that little vestibule area, or the little?
It's like freezing cold. Right there.
Yeah, it'd be like felt like 30 degrees.
And there was cold too, not like air conditioned air, like creepy cold.
Right, and it wasn't. There was no AC in that little vestibule. It was just door, little mailbox room, and that was it.
Yeah,
no ventilation or anything. It should have been hot as crap at the time.
Didn't make a bit of sense.
Yeah. And I think one of the first nights that we were there, that we heard, it sounded like somebody took all the dishes off that were in the dish strainer and just smashed them on the ground.
Everyone
like, what? And we went, nothing was there.
Nothing broken. It's weird.
The lights would sometimes the bathroom light would turn on and off every now and then. Not too much, but every now and then it would.
And there was one night I guess I was at work or something or out, and you thought I was home, and I wasn't even home. You swore, that I was in there, and it wasn't me.
Right? Yeah, that's what I was like. I thought you came in like threw a pen at me.
Yeah.
And I was like, why'd you throw that pen at me? You're like, I wasn't even there. I was like, what? He's like, no, I was at work.
There's no telling how old that Victorian house was. I mean, who knows?
Oh yeah, and then Nat was living in that apartment that was right behind us, and I think she said it was haunted too. And this was years after we were already out of there, but she ended up there for a while, and I think she mentioned that place was haunted, but who knows?
There's definitely some unexplainable things.
If there was gonna be a ghost, it would definitely be in that little area. That was all Victorian houses, like old. That was like old Philly.
Yeah.
Basically, like old city type stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, okay. So we lived in Philly for however many years. Crazy experience, crazy shows. Eventually, they accepted us. It took us a while, but we had no idea that it was going to be such like an old Quaker town mentality. But but once they like you, you're in. Like you're good. Once you're good, you're good.
Yeah.
So you left in 2009. You went back to North Carolina. Yeah. And then so it wasn't. And at that time, I'd already made up my mind. At that time, I was already going back and forth to New York a lot. I was taking
up there a lot.
I was taking that Chinatown bus, man. Yeah. I wish if I'd had a camera with me, I could make a documentary about that thing.
I went with you a couple times up there when we went to the Comic-Con. I was like, where are we headed? Because they made that weird stop off. I swear they're making some kind of deal. Like,
they were definitely. They would make a lot of shady.
Strange.
It would be late at night, and they would stop somewhere. Like they would take a weird route, not the normal route, and they would just stop, and these dudes would just take off running off the bus. And I'm like, all right, I know what's going on. Just get me back to Philly alive.
Hard to beat $20 from Chinatown to Chinatown, though.
Yeah, a round trip. You can't
Yeah.
beat that.
No.
That's cheaper than the gas.
And get some good Chinese food in New York. That's a pretty sweet.
Yep. So, what? Back to the timeline. It was like 2009.
Yeah, sorry, I digress.
No, you're good. I do it all the time.
Yeah.
So you take back off to North Carolina. I was already making my plans to move to New York. I was like, all right, because I think that's where, if I work, as hard as I've worked in Philly, I think I could actually do something in New York.
Yeah.
There's more opportunity up there.
Mm-hmm.
So I get up there, and it worked. It took, it's always, what do they say? It's like when you move to a new city, it's always the first 2 to 5 years it takes to get your feet dug in.
Yeah.
And so it took a while, but by 2015, because I'd already been going back and forth so much, I had a little bit of an advantage. So by 2015, that's when I started making the money that I was trying to make.
Oh yeah.
Because it was always harder, at the beginning, because you got to make business relationships, work relationships, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
So finally, by 2015, I was like, holy crap, I'm making it in New York. And then by 2018, I was making really good money.
Yeah.
So it didn't take quite as long as Philly to make it in Philly. But then 2020 came along, and I was like, I'm out of here. I'm not.
Right.
They're not going to lock me up in this studio apartment. They they can do whatever they want, but I'm not going to do it. So
the cities, those big cities were the worst. I mean, it's like your zombie apocalypse. You ain't getting out or getting in.
right, they started talking about closing down the roads. I'm like, nope. I think they might be overreacting. I'm getting out of here for a while.
Yeah.
But what else? So we have had so many crazy experiences
Oh yeah.
while playing music. We've slept in parking lots. We've slept in
Pet Boys parking lot,
Yeah, Pep Boys parking lot, on floors,
pool tables.
outside. I was going to ask you. Here's one thing, and I don't know. It just randomly, because I also did a Bigfoot episode too. I interviewed somebody that has a story about seeing Bigfoot.
Oh, cool.
And I thought about. Do you remember that time we were up there and we were hanging out with Ed Blub, and I don't know if Marty was there, and then there were a few other people there. This was up at Russell Gap when Ed Blub was up at Russell Gap.
The apple orchard where we came.
Yeah. But he had his trailer there at the time. I don't know if you remember. He had a trailer, or maybe he hadn't put it there yet.
I don't remember.
No. He was going to put a trailer, something like that. But yeah, we were up there. I remember there was a fire.
Yeah.
And then, Herbie was there.
Oh, Herbie. Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But didn't we hear it sounded like a baby crying at one point?
Yeah, I feel like I've heard it here, like a bobcat or something.
That's what I'm thinking, because there were bobcats up there. So that might have been a bobcat that we heard. I just know it freaked us all out at the
It
time.
sounded like a baby crying. It was cool, yeah.
We were all freaking
The
out.
weirdest thing I remember about that, that's kind of like our yearly camping trip, but one of the first times me and you and Ed Blub and Simmons and Pierce went, like we were all like, we had 2 tents, and then they heard the baby sound again, and next thing you know, there's 5 guys in one tent.
Oh, right.
And then we're
I
all
remember that.
huddled together like sardines, and then Eddie's like, I'm not wearing any clothes. Like, why are you
and
naked?
then everybody ran out of the tent. Because
You stay
apparently
naked in there by yourself. Right?
he liked to sleep without any clothes on.
Oh, it's strange. Yeah. That was a fun time to those camping trips, though. Because we'd go up there on that side of that orchard and nobody bother you. You can do whatever you want. So it was kind of cool.
Hey, if you have time, I don't know how much time you got, but after we're done here, if you have time, we'll do another one and just talk about the Bigfoot that we heard out on the lake with Pierce, if you want.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and I'll make that a separate episode because I'm doing I have the ghost stories, the Bigfoot stories, and then I'm doing the regular podcast like this, where I'm just talking to people about whatever. I'm trying to get. Go ahead.
To get a hold of him to talk about it, meaning Pierce.
I haven't talked because he got hit hard with his business and everything during Helene when the hurricane came through.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't really spoke to him since he was out of country when it happened, and then he got back. And I guess he had a lot to deal with. I don't know how bad the damage was. So I haven't spoken with him since. I didn't want to bother him. He's been busy, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah, they got hit pretty hard up that way. I hate that.
oh yeah, if you just drive up towards just to Marion, or even at the time Lenore was bad, but you can still see the effects in Marion because I did some jobs up there. And it's definitely...
Dad went up there and did some weekend volunteering, something with his job, and he said it was awful. He said, you could see it on the news, he said, but you don't understand till you go.
Right.
Just say it was like nothing. It was like tent cities and just destruction everywhere. It's just awful.
Yeah. So finally, it looks like they're finally getting cleaned up. I don't know. Just like anything, it'll take it forever to rebuild.
Yeah.
But, I mean, one thing I thought that people were surprised at how terrible like the government response was. But look at Katrina. I didn't forget about Katrina. I just expected to be the worst response.
Yeah. And then they're going to, of course, respond in California when they're where all the rich folk are. They're always responding to them first. So.
Oh yeah.
It's always been that way.
If you got enough money, jump to your aid a little quicker.
I watched one thing, a little meme that was on YouTube. One of the sheriffs up there or whatever in Asheville, he's like, "We take care of ourselves. You can get FEMA out of here."
Right. That's how they did it, though. If the people, all the people had to take care of each other, is what it all became like a civilian operation.
Yeah. He brought up a good point. He said, "We didn't need you before. We don't need you now." So, I mean.
Right. Yeah.
Them old mountain folks have been living that way a long time. We'll leave them alone.
Yeah, because they're that area. I'm not talking about like Asheville proper, but once you start getting outside of Asheville, the mountain people.
Oh yeah.
Like you could literally, you could wash away their house. They'll figure out a way to survive.
Yeah, they'll survive.
They'll build a log cabin if they need to.
Yeah, they're pretty impressive, honestly, how they can just adapt.
Right. Because it's
so it happens to the city folk. They don't know what to do. It's kind of like taking them out in the woods. They're scared. The first time we took Mike out of the Philly, he's like, "Y'all got me out here in the sticks with all these noises and critters." Like, what are you talking about?
Right. Oh man, yeah. That's one thing is that we could survive in their world. I'm not always sure they could survive out in the country though.
No,
like we could do both. We figured out we could do both.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people when they move to cities, the reason there's a lot of people that have bad luck. Like let's say me and you, we were driving down a certain way, or just walking, late at night, and this street looks sketchy. You know what we do? We turn around and go the other way, even if it takes longer. And that's why I don't think we really had any major problems.
No,
but at one point,
done kind of rode around with Mike D and figured out where not to go. So
right, exactly. And I used to take that shortcut.
For trouble, you'll find it.
100%.
Yeah.
I used to take that shortcut through North Philly to get down to Center City faster.
Yeah.
And because at that time, for a while, they were only carjacking nicer cars.
Yeah.
But then at a certain point, they just started carjacking any car. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to do this anymore. I think I'll skip. I'll just take the longer route. I'll go down Lincoln Kelly Drive to get down to Center City.
Right. I remember that first apartment, your radio got stolen.
Oh, that thing got stolen like 3 times.
Yeah.
So
then you put that fake looking with like a fake radio with the wires hanging out, like somebody had already stole it. It was a pretty cool little gimmick.
And you know what? Nobody ever stole it after that.
Yeah. Like,
because they took the flashlight and they were
clever,
shining it in there, and they're like, "Oh man, somebody already got this one."
Yeah, that was pretty good.
I should have done that at the beginning. Is just make a fake plate, and then I looked it up. I think they sell those now. You can actually buy little covers. It's not so much a problem these days, but at that time,
oh yeah,
because now they're like integrated into the car. It's a totally different type of thing.
It's not different.
They're not swapping out radios like they used to because everything's Bluetooth now.
Yeah, that's right. But yeah, they would. You just never know. Sometimes, remember, I came out and my car was on cinder blocks.
Yeah, that was crazy. I still tell people about that story.
Yeah.
When they talk about
on my wheels.
Yeah, it was literally every single one was on a cinder block with no wheels at all.
Yeah.
Well,
they left the lug nuts. That's what was so strange.
They left the lug nuts, but did they not leave I'm trying to remember now. Did they not leave a separate set of wheels without the tires on them? I'm trying to remember, or were they just gone?
Yeah, it was something. It was almost like they were nice criminals or something.
It was like they were. It's like we're going to take your tires, your wheels that have tires on them, but we're going to give you these other wheels that don't have any.
Yeah.
I almost wonder if they didn't just swap them with another car,
maybe,
or something at the time.
I remember Dad was so angry. He's like, let's go find them. I'm like, tell me which direction to go. Where are we going to find them in the city? Like, it's gone.
And I was going to buy that car, that blue car, the Honda Civic.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't know what it was at the time, and I was like, let's just go drive around North Philly, and I'm sure I'm going to find what I'm looking for the price I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. Just drive randomly. What Erie Avenue, 7th and Erie or something like that.
Yeah, that's Erie.
Just driving randomly around North Philly. And there's a blue Honda Civic with a for sale sign on it.
Yeah.
And we go to this sketchy little. Because I was like, all right, I can buy it. And the guy, he was determined, or he was dead set on going to the little license plate place that he chose. So I almost wonder if it was some sketchy stuff. It was probably stolen. Who knows?
Yeah, probably.
Because I remember when I got the windshield replaced, the guy said, those inspection stickers, those are fake. And I said, I had a feeling they were. I said, I'm not that
That was a
surprised.
good little car, though. You had it for a good while.
That thing ran great all the way up. When did I get rid of it? Probably around 2008, 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
And then I got a van, that little Astro van, because I was going up. Even at that time, so I was driving back and forth to New York playing shows, so I could throw gear if I needed to bring a drum kit or amps or whatever.
That's cool.
So we used that for all the local stuff. It was easier. Awesome. Cause we used to pack so much gear in cars. We used to pack...
Unbelievable.
I think in that little Honda Civic, we were able to pack drums. Well, no, at least the amps. We were at least able to get all of our both big amps. Maybe even drums, too. I forget, but we got a lot of stuff. It was crazy.
Like playing Tetris. It worked. We'd get the show.
Yep.
That's
I just
crazy.
can't believe how much gear we would get in a little small car. But yeah, so to finish up the timeline, so then I go up to New York, playing in all these different bands up there, and then you eventually ended up down in South Carolina, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I was in easily Greenville area down that way.
Gotcha. So you ended up back in South Carolina.
That way.
And then isn't it ironic? I ended up back in South Carolina during 2021, even though I was over by the coast with Jamie and Ed and all them at Myrtle Beach. But it's just funny.
In that video, you jogging on the beach. I'm like, what beach are you at? And they're like at near North Myrtle or something. I was like, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
Full circle sometimes.
Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah, back when we used to drive through here, I never imagined living here. Well, it was pretty cool, though. It's a lot cheaper down this way. Nobody really
I bet, yeah.
Yeah.
I went down there, what was it? So I saw you for the first time in years. What was it? It was over the summer, this past summer.
Yeah.
Like August.
August, September, around there, yeah.
Yeah. So, it had been a long time.
Oh, yeah. But
probably since...
like like no time's really fast.
Oh, yeah.
You've known somebody a long time, and you can just jump right back to the conversation.
Right. I think the last time I had saw you was when you came out to see World War IX in Charlotte.
Yep.
It was like a day show or something.
That's
if I'm
right.
not mistaken.
It was what the heck's the name of that place?
Milestone, yeah.
Yep.
It was like a little, they were having an outside type show, matinee outside
That's
show.
right.
That was fun. It turned out being a really good show.
Yeah. There's all those little swimming pools people are jumping in. And...
It was almost like a 4th of July party.
Yeah.
Is what it was like.
Does that place still have shows?
They still have shows. They're still going.
The 25 to go guys still run it?
No, so he sold it to this other guy named Buck. And then I think Wiley Buck
got his own clubs and studios. It's weird.
It's a thing. It goes with the territory.
Yeah, that's so funny.
But yeah, so he owned. So he bought it from John, and then I'm pretty sure he still has it to this thing. And then John, I don't know if he still lives in the area, but I see him. He's on the internet posting stuff. I think he's still playing music.
Oh, cool.
He had like a
dudes. Always like those guys.
Yeah, good guys.
Yeah, never. This is kind of not really off topic, but just some reason he's on my brain when we talk about music. Have you run into Sid since you've been back? Where the devil was Sid Taylor? Is he still alive? I mean, I
have no idea.
Because there was that. I don't say we hung out with him like 20 years, but we had that little span of time where it was just like we didn't have a drummer, or Simmons wasn't able to hang out with us because he was so young. But it was just like every Friday and Saturday it was me, you, and Sid for.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I don't know. Sometimes. I know people change, but I don't know. I just think about some of the stuff we did and hung out with him. It was just some fun stuff. Just three of us jamming, playing Rancid and Social D and your
Social D. Yep, I was going to say
everybody else is at partying or just being stupid. And we just playing music every Friday and Saturday. I mean, it's just
that was all we did.
Almost
literally all we did was play music.
Yeah. He was kind of like us. He liked playing other stuff too, so he didn't really care. He'd just play whatever. we do the little Chinese fire drill and play different instruments. That was good stuff.
Yep. I still talk to Josh on Instagram. We chat back and forth on Instagram.
Josh Lewis.
Yep.
Oh,
Still talk to him. But here's the problem:
Oh,
all
yeah.
these people we used to play music and stuff with, they're hard to get a hold of because everybody's
Yeah.
busy. You know,
Oh, yeah.
everybody's working. They got kids, this, that, and the
Yeah.
other.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's hard to. Nobody has time to do anything. Especially, I know everything's so expensive now. It's even harder for people to make time because now, who have I hung out with music wise? Honestly, the Myrtle Beach dudes are the only I think.
It's still
Music,
the same.
and Anthony and I hung out
Barnes.
with. Yep, hung out with Barnes. He's
Yeah,
exactly.
he's still the same old guy. He's always a good dude.
So I hung out with him. He's honestly, I'm trying to think out of all the people we played music with. So I think he's the only one I've hung out with
Yeah,
since I've been back down in North Carolina.
that's awesome. Me and Marty text back and forth. I hadn't seen him in a couple of years since we, just kind of had a little side band together. Never really took off, but we still text once in a while, just what's going on, and
I saw his dad because I dropped off. I'd made some stickers.
Yeah.
I saw Phil because Marty had me make some stickers, so I made some stickers for him.
Yeah,
And I dropped them off. Marty wasn't there, so I did see. I saw his dad. That's as close as I've gotten to Marty since I've been back.
yeah. Phil's still the same old Phil. He's funny.
Yeah.
It's funny when I went back and started playing in that basement again, like we did back in the early days, and he come downstairs and made that same face. I was like, "This is like he's never changed." He just stopped and stared at me. I said, "Phil."
Did he recognize you?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, he recognized me. It took him a second. I said, "Do you remember me?" And he was like, "Yeah,
Yeah. He's funny.
yeah, I remember you."
He's a character. He don't even have to say anything. He's just funny.
Mm-hmm.
One of those guys.
But well, I tell you what.
Yeah.
We'll wrap this up, and then we'll do. That way, you'll have time to do we can talk about the Bigfoot stuff. But
Sure.
anyway, but thanks for coming on. I'm really glad you were because you had to be the first.
Oh,
This is
wow.
the first of many. I'm going to do a lot of these. I think I'm going to try to get Zach. Remember Zach from Philly, spiky-haired Zach, crazy
Oh, yeah.
Zach.
Yeah.
He's got some crazy stories, so I'm going to get.
He's a funny dude too.
I'm going to try to get him on. We hung out with him. Anytime I would go through Austin after he left Philly, I would always hit him up and hang out with him. He was always fun.
To see him, you wouldn't think he'd be that laid back of a guy, but he's pretty chill dude. I mean,
Oh yeah, totally. He's a chef.
down to earth. Yeah, you go talk to him with that crazy spiky hair, and he's like, "Hey man, how's it going?"
Oh yeah,
He's
super nice guy. And the salsa, he makes the best salsa. And every time I would come through, it was like, "Yo, can you make some salsa?" And he would bring it to the show. It was awesome, so good,
That's awesome. Very cool.
awesome. Well, John, thanks. Do you have any projects or any music stuff that you want to promote? Or
No, not right now. Just
Not right
been
now?
working a lot, trying to get ahead and raise the family.
I hear that.
Yeah,
Well, like I said, really appreciate you coming on, and we'll do it again sometime if you want.
sounds good.
All right, everybody. We will see you on the next one.
Well, give me time now, doctor. Was it something I said? You got me lying on your couch here for so long, just trying to get in my head. Yeah, you always talking about a new medication to help me sleep through the night. Alright, y'all done all the misdirected sublimation, baby. I never could get it right. Sometimes I still fantasize about the shot. Therapy at times are irreversible. Damage and disease, I want a shot. Therapy at voices in my head turn from whisper in a scream. My phone's been ringing forever. Yeah, but I know who's on the line. I got everybody looking for money. Honey, I'll never pay 'em on time. No, well, these guys, something. Yeah, ain't talking about discovering a noble purpose. While the suggestions obscene, I think you know what I mean. I wanna shine, go, therapy. I'll get that pattern pencil, doctor. Give me what I need. I'm talking shine, go, therapy. That voice is in my head, temple whispers in a scream. On the NMPI. So a Venus fuck his mama in the Rorschach blots. Now right in my head, what have I got? What a shot! No, never pay. Signs are irreversible. Damage tendencies, I want a shot. No, therapy. I'll get that manifesto, baby. You know what I need? I'm talking shot. Gun therapy. Doctor, please, I want a shot. Go, therapy. I'll voice in my head, different whispers into space.